Over the past few weeks, I've been getting to grips with DJay Pro by Algoriddam, and as a record box user primarily, I have been thoroughly impressed. I can confidently say that this is a really comprehensive piece of software. Now, in my opinion, it's definitely got some of the best in-class sounding stems of any of the DJ softwares out there. And in addition to that, it's definitely got some of the best track analysis and beat gridding, again, of any of the softwares out there. However, if you are downloading DJay Pro for the first time, there are some key settings that you need to be aware of, which I'm going to run through with you in this video. And in addition to this, of course, no DJ software is perfect. And so I'm going to run through with you some of my key frustrations or limitations that I have come across to date. Let's jump in. Okay, so welcome into DJay Pro. Today I am on the FLX4 and I have got DJay Pro loaded on my laptop. First and foremost, we're going to go through some of the key settings that I think you need to be aware of and possibly you're going to want to change. These are certainly things that I noticed that were a bit, shall we say, odd when I started using DJay Pro. Not saying that it's not a great piece of software, because it is, but there are just a few things that I think are a little bit strange when you first get used to playing with it. So first and foremost, if you are on a laptop, what you will need to do in DJay Pro is you'll need to click on the actual DJay Pro in the top left and open up the settings. If you are on a tablet or a mobile device, if you click the little logo in the center of the screen, that will open up the settings. I did find that the settings were very similar on both applications. First and foremost then, if you go to General, one thing that I did notice with DJay Pro is that as soon as you load a track into either the left or the right deck, it instantly starts playback by default. So you need to have a look at this song loading menu here and just make sure that if you don't want the track to instantly start playing, just to uncheck start playback. That will just mean that you have a traditional kind of loading in and then you press play when you want to start the track versus it just playing instantly when the track is loaded in. So yeah, I did turn that off. The next thing to note as well is, for some reason, on my tempo slider, you have to click this invert slider. Basically, this means that in the traditional sense, when you pull the slider down towards you, the song increases in tempo, and when you move it away from you, it decreases in tempo. However, for some reason, when I first loaded it, I noticed that when I moved the tempo towards me, moved the slider, towards me, it actually slowed the song down. And when I moved it away from me, it sped the song up. So the complete opposite. So in order to change that very quickly, you just have to click invert slider. That's right there. The other thing that I noticed as well on DJay Pro on the default settings is that a small amount of vinyl break was also applied when I hit pause on a track. So you can see there on the screen, it's just taking a few seconds just to stop the playback. So if you find that, just go into your settings and then come down to play pause and just make sure that is set to the start time to 0 and the stop time to 0. What's weird on DJay Pro in comparison to Rekordbox and Serato is that it is done in seconds as opposed to like a dial type response. So just bear that in mind, okay? The other thing to bear in mind, if you want to adjust any of your crossfader curves or anything like that, that is found in the sound menu here, which is all good. And also as well, make sure you have auto gain ticked on. This is actually really good because it means that you don't have to adjust too much your trims. So if you have songs that are recorded at different volumes, this auto gain will actually match the volumes of songs. So I make sure that I have that ticked on. So that's actually really, really good. And then for audio output, very good if you are streaming or if you are recording mixes, also have that audio limiter switched on just to avoid clipping. So that's very, very important too. Now, of course, DJay Pro is not the only app out there that is available on both laptop and mobile devices. Rekordbox also have a mobile app available, but I haven't really featured it much on this channel. If you want me to do a bit of a comparison video comparing Algoriddam DJay Pro and Rekordbox, leave the word comparison down below, and if I get enough interest, then I will make that video for you. Couple of other things to note is by default, this actually took me a while to work out, which I found very strange, is you'll notice the cue buttons here. Right now I haven't got any of them illuminated. However, they switch automatically by default. So if I have fader 1 down, the cue button is illuminated, but watch what happens if I switch that over. It jumps over to channel 2, and it's the same with the crossfader as well, on whichever volume fader is down basically. I don't know why that is set by default. I just want to press them manually. So what you need to do, because it did take me a while to figure this out, is click on the little pre-queuing menu, which is the little headphones here, and then just deselect auto select. So that just means that you've got complete manual control, and the volume faders do not impact that cue select by automatic basically. Now, stems on DJay Pro is called Neural Mix, probably one of the best sounding stems out there. If you want to just toggle that on and off, you can just switch the little weird like N symbol on there, and then you have got the Neural Mix engine that opens up. Now, the great thing with Neural Mix on this in comparison to Rekordbox and Serato, it's not on or off. You can actually control the level of which you have. Now I can't use it because I've got Spotify. Obviously you can only use it with certain platforms, but you can actually control the level of each of the individual elements, as well as switching elements on or off. So that toggle on, toggle off approach, which is found in Rekordbox and Serato. You can also apply Neural Mix to the crossfader and also the EQs very easily. That setting, if you want to change that, you just come up to the virtual deck. Underneath EQ, just switch that over to Neural Mix, and now you'll have your stems applied to your EQs, which is really cool. So yeah, you can toggle that very, very easily without any kind of mapping. And the other cool thing with Neural Mix is that you can have two different types. So you've got percussive or tonal, so that's kind of combining a few of the different frequencies. You could have 3, which is like your, I guess, traditional, which is drums, harmonic and vocals. So yeah, those 3 elements, or you can take it a level further and you've got the 4 elements, so the drums, the bass, the harmonic and the vocals. So very, very flexible when it comes to that. And then the other thing is, by default, your waveforms will scroll across horizontally on a laptop, and also I found on the tablet. Here on the laptop, if you want to change that, you can just go up to the top right hand corner where it says 2 decks. You can change that to 1 deck, auto mix, 4 decks video, but you've also got your waveform options there, so you can have them scrolling up vertically or horizontally in the view. So there we have some of the key settings and call outs that I have noticed as a brand new user to DJay Pro. Let me know what your favorite settings are in the comments down below. I am actually genuinely intrigued to know. And maybe, you know, you've set this up in a slightly different way to me, and there are things that I am perhaps missing. But those are things that I have noticed. Just want to give a very quick mention to my brand new website for 2026, djresources.net. You can scan the QR code on screen or check out the link in the description. I've been getting a ton of positive feedback on the site so far, and I am adding to it every single week with brand new free DJ guides to help you out as a DJ in 2026. Maybe you've been booked for a DJ gig and you need to get certain styles of music that you don't have in your playlist and don't know where to begin. I've got curated playlists on the site. Or maybe you just want to learn how to become a DJ in 2026 and don't really know where to start, or maybe you're putting it off. Well, there is also my Ultimate Beginner DJ course also hosted on this site. So do go and check it out. back to the video. Now I'm going to talk to you about a few limitations or things that have frustrated me a little bit with this platform. Now, this is not me going on a rampage about DJay Pro. I think this is a very comprehensive piece of software. However, of course, no piece of software is perfect. Rekordbox has things that I really don't like. Serato has things that I don't like, but these are just things that I have found in my usage so far. First and foremost, there does not seem to be a way to switch between vinyl and CDJ mode. It seems to be constantly stuck in vinyl mode. Now, that's not majorly a big deal, and there might be a way to switch off vinyl mode. Let me know in the comments, as I mentioned. I just haven't come across it, and I have gone in depth on the different menus of DJay Pro. I've looked in forums, I've looked on Reddit. There just doesn't seem to be a way to switch vinyl mode off and go onto CDJ mode. Now, as I said, it's not a big problem, but I switch between the two modes when I'm DJing because sometimes I like to have the whole wheel, you know, being able to be my pitch bend, and if I accidentally sort of knock the jog wheel, then of course it stops playback in vinyl mode. The other thing as well that I have noticed on DJay Pro is there does not seem to be a way to switch off the crossfader. Now, once again, I do not use the crossfader at all when I am DJing. I use the up faders, and so I just don't have a need for the crossfader. Now, one thing that I would say is really cool with DJay Pro that I've not seen on any other software is the amount of crossfader effects that it has. So you can have like neural mix effects on the crossfader. You can do different echoes on the crossfader as you're transitioning from one to the next. But you just can't seem to switch it off, which is really strange. And I think that would be really, really quite useful because I've definitely had times in my DJing career where I've accidentally left the crossfader switched on, I've accidentally knocked it, and then the whole club goes very, very quiet or silent, and I've realized I've nudged the crossfader. So just bear that in mind, that there doesn't seem to be a way to switch that off. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. And then the other thing is the way in which the performance pads work. Now, this is probably my biggest frustration that I have come across. This software, DJay Pro, works very, very well with this FLX4 and a ton of other DJ controllers out there. I have only tested it with the FLX4. I've tested it on the mobile app and also the laptop app. Now, when you are using the performance pads, the different modes on these pads with these selectors at the bottom do trigger. However, the menu in the software on screen does not change when you are selecting the different modes. And I actually find when I'm using this that the menu system on the actual laptop or on the controller, on the iPad, sorry, or mobile phone, is actually not very intuitive. It's actually quite hard to use. And so I can just imagine if I was frantically DJing in a club doing some quick mixing and I want to get to my, you know, my next song quite quickly or want to mix out quickly, it's going to be a nightmare if I'm having to play around with the buttons but also have to adjust things on the laptop. So let me give you an example. So hot cue mode, for example, is active and you can see it on screen now. Now, as you can see there on the screen, I'm adding the different hot cues, which is fantastic. So, and that works. It works absolutely fine. I'm going between, so I know you can't hear it, but you can see the waveform jumping around. So the hot cues work absolutely fine. Now, if I'm in Rekordbox and I move over to pad effects, we are actually now in pad effects mode, but you see on screen that the hot cues have not disappeared off the screen and we haven't got effects mode. And so what you have to do is you have to find the effects mode on screen with DJay Pro, and then now we're in effects mode, but this is like the little creative pad. You then have to go to the drop down list and click on instant, and now you can see that's how we'll trigger the pads. So the pads are very active. The menus just don't update, and I find that really, really frustrating. Don't get me wrong, there might be a way to map this, but I feel like, especially if you're a beginner DJ, you want plug in and play, you want it just to work. And if I move over to beat jump, for example, now with beat jump, the menu is actually, well, not the menu, but the amount you're jumping by is actually underneath, I think, somewhere, if we go on to looping. So you actually, because I had the mixer on there, and we had our different sort of, our mixers and samples on there. If we come out of there, you can see here we've got the loops underneath here. So you see loop 16 beats. It's actually quite small. So if I hit that, you can see it's changed from 1 beat, that's 1 beat back, that's 1 beat forward. Then we go on to 2 beats, 2 beats back, 2 beats forward, and it changes, but it doesn't really show you that it changes on the actual screen. It doesn't illuminate or anything like that. It's actually very, very hard to see. And yeah, I just feel that like the effects menu and that side of things could be improved a little bit. In addition, with the sampler, I press sampler again. Now the sampler is somewhere completely different. You have to open up the pads here and you've got the different samples there, but that is right the way across. So in order to activate all of those samples, it's great that we've got these sample packs, but you have to hit sampler on both sides to activate everything across the whole suite of effects. So yeah, I just feel like the effects really need working on a little bit in terms of the view and things like that. But I do get that this works with so many different controllers out there, and it probably works a bit better with other controller manufacturers. These are just my experiences with an FLX4. So just something to bear in mind, that you might have to use your laptop or your tablet a little bit more closely than perhaps what you first thought when you are using this software. Thank you so much for watching. The big question now is, are you gonna go and download DJay Pro, or maybe you already use it? Let me know down in the comments. Please do give me a thumbs up if you found it useful. Shout out to my members as always, and catch you in the next video.